Thank you for watching Meatsauce and Monty. I'm Matt Montgomery. He's Paul Meatsauce Lambert. Happy Halloween. Hope people had fun on Thursday night.
Yeah, are you Woody?
No. I think we're going to do this. I don't want to tell you who I am. You should know who I am. I'm dressed. Obviously, it's Halloween. You don't partake.
You said Corey Cove at his other job?
I don't know what his other job is. Maybe. Depends on what he does. I'm not going to tell you. You can guess whenever you like, whenever you think you have something funny or witty.
Right. I just used all my witty stuff.
And
the best line I had, story of my life, went too early.
Yeah, you went too early. This costume is your idea, or not your idea. You had something to do with it.
Oh.
Because I know it's from a genre or something that you have said Wales. So, that's the only hint I'm going to give you. I don't want to go too far. All right?
All right.
If you come up with something later, we can...
You're not Woody?
I'm not Woody. My wife said that. She goes, and I said,
I don't want to know what your wife calls you.
Yeah. I said, Woody does not look anything like this at all. Way, shape, or form.
We don't know what Woody did when he went to that, in Toy Story 4, when he entered that fair and lived there forever. Yeah. We don't know what Woody's up to.
That's interesting. Way to give it away. Spoiler alert for the kids at home.
You haven't seen it?
No,
Toy Story 4?
Have not.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm missing out.
It's great.
I know. I don't keep up
I saw
with the
Toy
movies.
Story 3.
Yeah?
In 3D. Me and my buddy Smitty at 10 o'clock on a Friday.
By yourselves?
We were stoned to the bejesus. And we were crying.
Dude,
this last scene?
Yeah.
Have you seen the third one?
I have seen the third one.
Oh, dude, where he grabs whatever you're dressed as?
Yeah.
And he looks at it and he kind of goes...
Yeah.
And then hands it to her.
You were sobbing.
And Woody waves to him as he goes to college.
It's over.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
Andy's toy.
Yeah.
Gone. All right. It's been 2 weeks since we've seen each other. We had our best of show. Did you watch it?
No, but my dad did. He texted me about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, did you really say that? I'm like, yeah, Dad,
You said a lot of things.
That's me on the TV.
It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, of course.
It was very fun to watch.
I DVR it, and then sometimes, here's why I don't, okay?
Well, you don't want to watch yourself.
And I don't like watching myself
Yeah.
because I look like Mama June ate King Kong, so it's like...
Mama June.
You know.
I like how you did an impression of yourself and got bigger. You're like...
But I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I would have watched. No, I DVR it. I'll watch it at some point.
It's on YouTube too. Go to YouTube. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
It was very fun to pick out the clips and watch back. It, as Scott said, it showed how much we've changed from season 1, season 2, season 3.
You mean Sid, who just got out of juvie over there?
See, poor Scott. He's become the butt of our jokes now.
I love
Robitussin and Scott.
I love Scott.
Scott, the mean neighbor kid who tortures toys.
Yeah, that's all right.
DC Comics Scott.
Yeah, he got mad at me because I didn't know that. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Let's talk a little Vikings. So, like I said, 2 weeks since we've been together. Vikings are now 6-2. 4 wins in a row. They beat Detroit 2 weeks ago, and then they beat Washington 19-9 on Thursday night. That's a primetime game. Did that mean anything, do you think, for the Vikings to win a primetime?
Yeah, it meant something. It was. I don't think it was the spectacle that everybody thought it would be, where they basically lined 5 wide and they just bombed them down the field.
Yep.
They didn't do that against Washington. I thought because it was Washington, they would do that. It was,
and they didn't.
That game proves with all the angst. I don't want to put words into Kirk Cousins' mouth, but you have to feel some angst. They never gave him a deal. They always drafted quarterbacks when he was there.
Yeah.
They never really relied on him.
You like that?
I thought that they'd destroy them, but then it just proved how bad Thursday night football is. It's just sloppy football. I mean, you go back to it now. You look at the injury report for today's game. The Vikings have one guy limited this week. That was Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, after you get that time off and you don't have to play on a short week, it would have been great. I think if that game, the Washington game was on a Sunday, I'm pretty sure Thielen would have played, but there's no point in playing him on a Thursday. Thursday night football's stupid.
Yeah. But hey, Thursday Night Lights, Mystic Lake. You can come here.
Yeah.
You don't have to come for football. You can come for us.
You come here and see. Were you the guy in Pee Wee's Playhouse?
Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah, Cowboy Curtis.
I'm not Cowboy Curtis.
Okay.
I'm not Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah.
Good guess though.
Thank you.
So in that game against his old team, Kirk Cousins, he was almost a game manager. Although his numbers, 23 of 26. He just didn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
No touchdowns, but 285 yards. On the season right now, he's got the second best passer rating in the entire league. He's the NFC Offensive Player of the Month, third time in his career.
Yeah.
He's come together.
He's really good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, as I've said on this show and I've said on the Power Trip multiple times, someone, whether it was him, his dad, whoever his mentor is, a teammate, a coach, somebody got to him and just basically said, dude, if this continues, we're going to either have to get ready or you're going to be a backup.
Yeah.
Like, it was that bad through the first week of the season. And we saw, what was it, the first game of the season against Atlanta, he threw it, 10 times?
Oh,
and you're
it's
going,
hardly
what
any.
are you
Yeah.
doing? And now, I mean, he's as you said, he's the FedEx Player of the Month through the air with a lot of deserving candidates. You could have picked Aaron Rodgers, and he has torched the NFL. We'll see it again today because the secondary in Kansas City is awful. They're going to be without a bunch of their great defensive players, and their linebacker play is
They're great
awful.
defensive players. Let's.
Frank Clark is out, and he's really good.
All
but
right.
they're just a bad football team. But yeah,
defensively, we'll say that for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook, do you think he should be included in the MVP conversations? We're only halfway through the year, but we're talking he leads the league in yards from scrimmage. Rushing, he's got 823 yards already, 9 touchdowns. Dalvin is just versatile.
Dalvin Cook's the best all around, other than CMC Music Factory in Carolina, Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, I like CMC Music. Is that your nickname?
Is that who you are? Are you one of them?
No, I'm not Christian McCaffrey.
No, but other than him, who's just that, he's the whole team.
Yeah.
It would be. I wonder if you called either team, I would doubt they'd trade straight up for either of them.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook is amazing, man. Some of those runs he made against Washington, he gets to that corner, he stops on a dime, he goes this way, he just olays a couple of those guys. Dude, Dalvin Cook's the best running back this organization has had. Obviously, Adrian Peterson, but man, he's going to break some of those records, dude.
Yeah.
And now we're, 8 games in? That guy, let's hope he can play the whole season.
Yeah,
He'll
stay healthy.
Tear up Kansas City today. He'll tear them up.
All right. Stephon Diggs, 143 yards on 7 receptions in that game on Thursday night. In the last 3 games, 452 yards. He breaks Randy Moss's record for most yards in 3 games. That held since 2001.
Yeah.
To put him, the way the season started and then when he was complaining about getting the ball, that whole thing, to say now that he had a better mark than Randy Moss, that says something.
Yeah, I mean, Stephon Diggs obviously read my playbook. If things aren't going well, complain about it, and they'll turn around.
Change,
and man, and now granted, he's played basically 8 quarters of football without Thielen.
Yeah.
But
so he's been the main target.
He's dominated, and he'll dominate again today. This will be a fun game to watch. I'm trying not to give away.
Don't give away your picks. You keep saying dominate though.
But yeah, Diggsy, man, he's a great guy, and as long as they can keep him, happy and wanting to be here and all that, man, they got a great receiving corps.
Yeah. Special teams, we've talked about that before, how that was a part of the problem, that unreliable. Dan Bailey, NFL or NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, second time this season, on the year right now. He's 12 of 14. That's 85.7%. It seems like the kicking problems have gone away.
Yeah, and he's just kind of, I don't know, he's just kind of nails when he gets out there.
Yeah.
Like there's no real wobble to
on
him.
The Thursday.
What's the ones he's missed? Did he miss one in Green Bay?
To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I can't. The 2 that he missed, I feel like were really early season because he's been solid ever since.
Yeah, they're great. The whole thing that they the punter, that guy's
Cole
sweet.
Swift, yeah.
What a great pickup that guy was. And his brother, I think, plays for Kansas City.
Right. It's the brother game.
And their old man's like a punter god or something.
So
like he's one of the OGs.
Who's he going to be cheering for? That's going to be tough.
I don't know. Probably Greg Coleman.
Greg Coleman.
Another punter
who was on our Best Of show.
Yeah,
and picking
love
out
Greg
that
Coleman.
clip, I realized Greg Coleman did not like me. Todd's laughing. Seriously, go back and watch it on YouTube. The question and answer part, he did not care for my questions.
No, Greg Coleman likes everybody.
Like, I don't know.
Greg Coleman's the best.
I've got a Greg Coleman story. You weren't here. Was this 2 years ago now? Yeah, he was the Common Man was filling in. And when Greg Coleman shows up, we had to tell him, we're like, oh yeah, Meatsauce isn't here, Common Man's here. And he just goes, And we're like, what? What's wrong with Common? He's like, golfing and all this. First thing Common gets here, hey Greg, how's your golf game and all this? It was so funny.
Yeah,
it was almost like it was scripted.
I love Greg. Greg's the best. He's so good at what he does. He's just a great dude. But I don't know why he hates you. You're not a hateable guy.
Thank you. I know not many people do, but
you dress up as Woody's brother. They don't talk about.
You gotta. Come up with something other than Toy Story.
Well, you look like a cowboy.
I look That's right. I am a cowboy. That's very good.
no,
I'm a
no,
cowboy.
what? You're a
true
cowboy?
Cowboy.
I thought you were a princess.
Now think of a movie.
Are you the
where
Tooth Fairy?
Cowboys. The Tooth Fairy was a movie with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Are you
No.
Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven?
Nope, not that.
All right, I'll figure it
I
out.
don't know if Clint Eastwood could grow a mustache, to be honest.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
I don't know. Who knows? Let's go back to Adrian Peterson. That moment in Thursday's game, 2-minute warning left in the game. They said that he's gone. Now he's 6th all-time in rushing. He passed LaDainian Tomlinson. He's got 13,701 yards. He's got about 400 more to go, and he could pass Curtis Martin. They announced that. The crowd cheered for him. He blew kisses. He waved. It was actually kind of a feel-good a moment. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
We've talked about Adrian Peterson a lot. Back in our old, he went through that thing. I get it. Missed a lot of that season. Was that moment, though, was that kind of like it showed that there might be some forgiveness from the purple?
Yeah,
you can say what you want. It's our show. You don't have to sugarcoat it.
I don't know. As I always say, the football player-wise, man,
yeah,
he basically did to this franchise that Randy Moss did. He almost ran for the rushing record with a quarterback who would lose to Allie in that football game over there.
Yeah, pints and pigskins.
But the off-the-field stuff just awful. And whatever. I don't know if he's. Not a lot of people who are like he's the greatest guy, but one of his ex-teammates come out and said he's an awful teammate.
Sure.
Dude, he made all of you a lot of money.
Yeah, he made you.
He's football-wise, he's a first ballot Hall of Fame running back.
No doubt.
He was sweet.
So if you could play pints and pigskins with Allie and Jill and Brooke and Kimberly or Christian Ponder, who would you rather play with?
Oh, those four.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
They belong in a Mount Rushmore of that football game.
Of that football game and of Mystic Lake. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs taking them on today. They're coming off a 31-24 loss to Green Bay. Obviously, we're Thursday Night Lights. We're Tape Look Live, that fun thing. Patrick Mahomes, do you have any inside steam?
He won't play.
He won't play? You think he's out?
He took all the second-string reps.
Yeah,
and
he is running.
Yeah, he is, but they are without, as of when we tape this,
yes,
3 of their starting offensive linemen are hurt.
Yeah,
he's not going to play.
Don't put him back in.
They've lost 3 straight at home. They need a win, but you can't play him. There's no way you put him in.
Don't risk hurting him at this time of the year. We just hit the halfway point. Adam Thielen, any word on the hamstring, if he's going to come back or if we're also let him sit another one?
I would assume he'll play. I don't know why he wouldn't. We would have heard more. He was limited in practice almost all week.
I know.
We'll know more about it. For the TV-wise, the cuts come out in about 15 cuts.
Yeah.
The inactive list comes out in about 15 minutes, so we'll know then. But I would assume he'll play. But who knows? By the time this airs, he may not even have made the flight. But who knows?
Who knows? Is there anything the Vikings have to worry about defensively with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, LaShawn
No,
McCoy?
because I think they'll put Hughes on Kelce, or they'll put Hughes on Tyreek Hill. They'll put Rhodes on Watkins, and they'll put Harry and Curse on Travis Kelce. But they'll get so much pressure on Matt Moore that they won't really have to worry about it. They saw how you beat them last week against the Packers, and you say what you want. The Packers are a great football team. Kansas City had to resort to backyard football to score points.
Yeah, they did.
And Zim will have it figured out. He's had basically 10 days now to figure it out.
Long break.
He'll have him geared up, and they know winning this game will mean, and the momentum it'll mean to get them to 7-2. You go into Dallas a week from today. Yeah.
We're going to have Stu Voigt on here in just a minute, but last thing. Is Xavier Rhodes okay? Seems like he's been getting picked on these last couple weeks, and he doesn't seem like the same player.
Paul Allen said on his show the other day that, he said that something has changed in Rhodes, and he won't he'll be the cornerback we all knew and thought he would be for these last 8 games.
All right. We're going to take a quick timeout, and then we're going to have Stu Voigt come up here on stage. Game day pick and play rush-in on Sundays all season long. Pick the winning teams for each of the scheduled professional games. Top 20 players each week score free slot play. Plus, pick every winning team and score the weekly progressive jackpot. Also, Michael Carbonaro. Ever wondered what it feels like to be on the other side of Michael Carbonaro as he works his magic to make people believe the unbelievable. How about you, Paul? Do you believe in magic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I hope you do, yeah.
This is your chance to find out. Magician Michael Carbonaro brings his signature blend of bizarre antics, audience interaction. Oh, that's got to be fun. Hilarious video clips and mind-blowing magic straight from his television series, The Carbonaro Effect, to his live stage show here at Mystic Lake. All right. Now that we've got that taken care of, let's welcome to the stage former Vikings tight end Stu Voigt. Thank you so much for joining us, Stu.
All right.
Appreciate it. You played with the Vikings from 1970 to 1980, tight end, opposite the Purple People Eaters. What was that like to face them every day in practice, or to be on the team at the same time?
I would say, the joke I would say is I was 6'4" when I started, and then you work against Kyle Eller and Jim Marshall every day, and Alan Page, Gary Larson, and then Doug Sutherland. And those were the days when you practiced hard. I mean, the rules have changed a little bit because of the collective bargaining agreement, but if you had a bad practice or bad game, they said, let's scrimmage it up. So that you learn your lesson. Actually, games were easy after that. After you try to block Carl and Jim, no finer set of defensive ends at that time.
Wow.
It was full pad practice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Full padded practice. It wasn't like you see it today where it's shorts and shoulder pads. It's full pads.
And that's that's what's different now. Probably why they're trying to prevent big injury situations in the NFL. But no, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday full pads. Little loosening up on Tuesday, and Friday on Saturday would be the kicking game. So, but still, you wear pads out there. But
Wow.
yeah, it's changed, and the whole game's changed. It's a little bit. Jerry Burns would say it's now the NBA on cleats because you're throwing the ball so much, and a little less emphasis on the running attack.
How has the tight end position changed from when you played to what it is now? It's basically a slot receiver.
Well, I'll tell you, I never lined up more than 3 feet away from either Grady Alderman or Ron Yeri. And if you would try to get a little wider, because when you get wider, you get a little better release, but Jerry Burns would be on your butt so bad. So that was it. We're going to run the football. Here you are, 3 feet away, and that changed finally by the last couple of years. And Joe Sensor came in and eventually replaced me. They started putting him in motion. Jerry Burns he kind of was the leading edge of some of the stuff with the tight end. Now, the tight end, they used to call it an H-back. Now that's Travis Kelce you were talking about.
Right.
He can. They're converted basketball players. A lot of them, like Antonio Gates.
Just throw it up.
Yep, and they're going to win the jump balls. You figure these guys are 6'5", and the defensive backs are 5'11". So then you get the position of that big body. You saw the Gronkowskis and the Kelces and the Zach Ertz and some of these guys. They make a living just beating the defensive backs because of their size and their height.
Do you have any stories about Jerry Burns? Just because.
Well, Jerry Burns was my offense coordinator all 11 years I played, and he, of course, the stories and some of the audio you hear on some of the stations, colorful language.
Yes.
I would say Jerry, very religious guy. We've been friends for so long, but he will say that it is. He's very much a church-going Catholic, but that salty language started way back. In fact, true story about Jerry Burns, he was the baseball coach, one of the first jobs, the baseball coach at the University of Hawaii, way back in the 50s before he went to Iowa. His prize defensive back, another famous Hawaiian, Don Ho.
Really?
Tiny Bubbles, yeah.
Wow.
You heard it first here on the show.
There you
Wow,
go. Don Ho.
Maybe one of these days I'll
Coach
get my own
Burns.
pumpkin here.
That's what Matt is for Halloween. He's currently Don Ho.
I'm Don Ho. I'm not Don Ho. I'm not going to tell you who I am. You're going to try to get it by the end of the show, I hope.
Are you Burt Reynolds?
I'm not Burt Reynolds, but the stash, I don't mind you saying that. And the hat, Smokey and the Bandit, he did have that.
Maybe Gene Autry, you
Do you
never
have a
know.
Burt Reynolds story?
Yeah.
I do. Well, of course, we played the Dolphins in the Super Bowl, 73 Super Bowl, January of 74. Lost that game, dominated by Larry Zonk and their great running attack.
Oh.
So afterwards, they had a little promotion in Florida. We would play the Dolphins in Stuart, Florida. And so some of the Vikings went down, Dave Osborne, Ed White, Bobby Bryant. Of course, wouldn't you know, we win the basketball game, but after the game, Burt Reynolds, who was I won't say outstanding football player, but a good football player at Florida State, he threw a party, and there was Burt. I don't remember Alani Anderson in those days, but Burt was there, and quite a knowledgeable football fan. Good guy.
Really? So obviously we're a Sunday morning family show, but what were parties like back then in the early 70s with the NFL people? I would imagine that,
Well,
what you can share with us.
I can share that. Drinking and dancing and girls and guys, and you can figure out the rest. But it was fun. Not harmless, good fun, I guess.
Yeah. What was it like being in the Super Bowl back then? You were in 3 Super Bowls. Obviously, we didn't win any of them. But how much has the Super Bowl changed from that era to now? The commercial, like you said, they were doing parties and stuff afterward.
Yeah, well, I think it's immensely changed. And we, of course, had that run of the ones where I was in 73, 74, and 76. I'm not sure they even had a halftime show in those days.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't know about it. The facilities you'd work out in, in Houston, of course, we were at a high school field. That's the one where the birds or the bats were flying around in the locker room, and Bud complained. And the home team would get the better the facility of the team, so that was certainly not our choice. And but it changed. There was no media day. I think there might have been a few reporters around, but I think with the ESPNs and the 24/7 coverage of football, now it's monumental. And
yep. The buildup is huge.
The halftime shows, that was a non-event, and Viking fans supported us well. But I remember back that even when I think the last Super Bowl tickets were $40 to go to the Vikings versus the Raiders at the Rose Bowl, and you get, I think I got like 50 tickets to the game. And
oh man,
it was. And now, of course, if you get a ticket, I'm not saying advocating resale, but Mike Tice found out that there's a market for Super Bowl tickets. Gets greater every year, so it's a huge international event.
Those 3 Vikings teams you played on, you go back, man, they have to be 3 of the best teams that never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I would say so, and I think when you don't win a Super Bowl, you don't get your just rewards. Obviously, the Vikings in the Hall of Fame from that era are no-brainers, but I would say the Jim Marshalls, the Chuck Foremans, the Ed Whites, their career, their statistics, it goes by Pro Bowls and All Pros and different honors. But if you don't win a Super Bowl, some of these great players are going to be left off those teams. And I think, and then you get in maybe through the old-timers vote, but that gets tougher and tougher. But a real crime that I'd say those guys aren't in the Hall of Fame.
You got 4 or 5 or 6 of those guys that are probably on the all-decade team.
Absolutely.
That whole defensive line, you could make a case should be on the all-decade team.
I think one year, in 1970, all 4 Vikings went to the Pro Bowl. Even Gary Larson, who was a great player. He was kind of the cop in the middle. He didn't have the pass rushing prowess as the other guys, but certainly got his share of sacks and stuffed the run about as good as anybody.
When your playing days were done, you did radio.
Yes.
You got to do commentary from 81 to 90 and then 97 to 2000. What was that like to go from the player to then the media side?
Well, it was good. My break was Grady Alderman went to be general manager of the Broncos for a year, and he was so I not only took his broadcasting job, I worked 2 years as Mike Lynn's assistant. They were building Winter Park and the Metrodome, so there was some different possibilities. But it was fun. I think it was, remember all those years of broadcasting, the guys I worked with were fantastic. Some of the names I grew up with, Ray Scott, who was a legend in my home state of Wisconsin, doing the Packers, Joe McConnell, Brad Nessler, Tim Moreland, a whole bunch of guys, Dan Rowe. So it went fast, and it's that's a pretty easy job. If you were the good play-by-play guy, he kind of hands you a little something, and you can go either way. You can talk about the offense, defense, special teams. My gosh, Max McGee, he would just talk about when I was growing up in Wisconsin, he'd talk about the old Packers, and they loved it. When we'd play the Packers, my parents, when I was playing, they would listen to the Packer broadcast.
Packer broadcast.
Ray, it was who was that?
Did they cheer for the Packers?
They didn't seem pleased. We had a great dominance over the Packers in those days.
Yeah.
They were pleased with their son, but
not happy with their team.
Yeah, and they would talk about how Max sounded so good at the game. And
you and I have a small connection. That is the one and only Dark Star.
I knew that. I did an interview way back when.
He called me and said, "You're going to have Stu Voigt on." And I go, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay."
And you were good. I can tell you.
Thank you very much.
Had
but
career.
Dark was one of a kind.
Oh yeah, well those shows were one of a kind. I know.
Yeah.
It was. I kind of was the regular substitute when Pat Royce wouldn't show up, or sometimes Dark wouldn't show up, but it was always the Sid and Dark show. I mean, when they could get into it, that was classic TV, and it would go on. It would start before the show and go on after the show, and they kind of claimed they liked each other, but boy, you couldn't tell afterwards. And then, and they would come up one at a time after the show, the Dark would say, well, that Sid's really a jerk tonight. And Sid would say, I can't stand Dark Star. Lights, camera, action after that. So
we are a shadow of what they were, but they were the inspiration. We are an independent show. We got to be in that same basement at the CW studios while that show was still going. And it was just, we're so lucky that we got to
If you guys are still working when you're 99, we got a major
right
story
now,
there.
I'll be long gone.
Stu, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
Good show.
Thank you.
Meatsauce.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pints and Pigskins, it's football season. Show off your football skills. You could score up to $5,000 free slot play. Purchase a Coors Light or Sam Adams at participating Mystic Lake bars. Get a voucher, toss the football at Club M, and score up to $25 free slot play. If you score the highest single-day score of the season, you get $5,000 in free slot play. Okay, we got a couple minutes left. Let's bring back an oldie but a goodie, the Sports Machine.
Yeah.
See that? You love that segment, the Sports Machine. All right, there's so much going on in the world of sports. We've got 1.5 minutes to get through it. The World Series, did you watch any of it?
No,
not at all.
I watched it. I watched it the day after Game 6. Or 5. I watched it for that.
Yeah.
Because of those ladies.
Oh yeah, that was what you.
Yeah.
And you watched that clip a few times, and then you were done.
And then I looked them up. Then I followed them on social. No, it was
okay.
I'm not kidding you. That got Christopher Allen hockey to watch Game 6.
Thinking it could happen again.
See it when he forgot about the internet, I guess, for 3.5 hours.
The home team lost all 7 games, which is so bizarre.
Unbelievable.
But the thing that I think got talked about most, other than women flashing their parts, the umpires, the strike zone. It's a Sunday morning show. I'm just going to keep it clean.
You could say hoots.
You said hoots. All right.
What were you asking?
Strike zone was talked about a lot.
Yeah, the strike zone sucks.
The umpires.
Baseball's boring, man. No one watched that.
Nobody watched it.
The ratings were awful.
Wow.
No one watched it.
Nobody watched it.
Baseball is great in the summer because you can go and you get drunk and whatever.
Sure.
Playoff baseball is
hoots.
7 hours because every pitch matters.
I know. It takes forever.
But no.
Okay. We're down to the last half minute. You have any more guesses?
Yeah, you're the guy from Tombstone.
Yeah, I am the guy from Tombstone.
You're Wyatt Earp.
No, not Wyatt Earp. The other guy. The other guy with a mustache and a soul patch.
You're the lady that Wyatt Earp runs away with.
I'm not the lady that he runs away with.
Are you Doc Holliday?
Not Doc Holliday. The Huckleberry line is pretty much the best line of the movie. No, I'm not him. That is the rumor.
Are you Curly Bill?
I'm Curly Bill. Thank you. See, look at this. You finally got it. Your
That's
favorite
brilliant.
movie of all time.
Yeah.
Okay, so picks. Vikings or Chiefs?
Vikings win 34-24.
I picked Vikings win 24-23.
Yeah.
Last second field goal.
A good game.
It's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you back here next week.